All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So last week was a banger, and let us see what we have for this new week. So I'm going to be analyzing all these 20 pairs using the fxalexg set and forget strategy, and let us see what we have for this week. So these are the pairs I'll be analyzing, all these 20 pairs, and let us just get started with this. This is going to be the longer version of this video. There will be a shorter version to explain everything again, right? So NZD card NZD card, the daily time frame is still bearish, right? So price have retraced back into key support and resistance level, and it has had a doji. So there's a possibility that it will continue going down this week, right? So that's what we know for the daily time frame. So daily time frame is bearish, weekly time frame is bearish, and this week has a retracement back to last previous structural level, right? Then the 4-hour time frame, let's see. 4-hour time frame is 4-hour time frame is bullish, right? 4-hour time frame is bullish. So we'll still be playing this same game plan of last week. We still need a break and retest under this level to sell. So I don't want price to just break like this. I want price to come here, react from there again, and then have that break and retest for us to sell. So am I adding this for this week? Price still has a lot of price action. Price still has a lot of things to do. A lot of new price action to create for us to sell this market. So I'll just keep it on the radar. Let's just see how it looks. So I'll keep it here. Next pair, let's see how GBP USD looks. GBP USD daily time frame. This trade has already played out, and we caught it, by the way, last week. We caught it last week. I didn't actually personally catch it because I was on gold, and I'm going to be trading one pair per week, so that's the only reason. But there were two opportunities on gold. We would have closed 8% on gold alone, risking 2% per trade, right? AUD JPY is also gone. We caught it too as well, right? So also gone, right? There's basically no support and resistance, as you can see. That's how I know that it's gone already, right? AUD card. AUD card, another pair. I'm pretty sure we are still going to be waiting for the same pattern we were waiting for last week. So clearly, we have a very key support area right here. Right, we just need a break and retest to sell this market under this level, right? So I'll still add it for these pairs. I'll still add it for the pairs for this week. So we just need a clean enough break and retest under here to sell. So let's add it. GBP CHF, next pair. Alright, so GBP CHF, which trade is it? Okay, I remember the trade that has a historical low, right? That we didn't think price is going to trade below that low because that's never actually done that before. So now that price has basically just disappointed itself, right? Well, price is at the lowest low. How do we sell from that kind of low? We clearly just know that the momentum of this market is now clearly bearish because this is the only level it can possibly react from to trade upwards, but it never did, right? So this was last upper week, I remember, right? So price is still going to be bearish according to what I'm seeing. You can clearly see lower low, lower high, lower low, right? So price is still going to be clearly bearish, but we're not going to be adding it for this week because we can't just be trading at a lower low, right? We don't know, there's no price data previously to tell us what to do. As you can see, there is no price data to tell us what to do. So we'll sit GBP CHF out, but if I'm to take any risks, it's going to be sales on that market. GBP AUD, wow, I'm liking this already. So GBP AUD has a head and shoulder here on the 4-hour time frame, but let's start from the daily and see what we have there. All right, so daily time frame, I like how the market was bullish and then it consolidated, a little bit of consolidation, but there's price action right here, right? So Now we had a support and resistance level right here, and price was bearish here, and then it switched bullish, and now it's currently bearish because it broke below this low. From the EME, you can clearly see that price have slowly be switching bearish. So price is bearish on the which time frame? Daily time frame, right? Weekly time frame is actually okay. So this is the low. So yes, weekly time frame is bearish because this is the lower low now, and this is the lower high, right? And then the only another thing we can observe from the weekly time frame is that price had a doji and an engulfing, right? So we seem to have seen this before, doji and engulfing, and then price continued bearish. So there's still chances that price could repeat itself again, right? So that's another thing to note, right? And then the 4 hour time frame, which got me very intrigued as soon as I opened the chart. Let's see, is also bearish, by the way. So this is the lower low right now, and this is the lower high. So it's very simple what we'll be looking for on this trade. Very, very simple. We'll be waiting for a retest to somewhere around here to sell, right? To potentially sell to this low, actually. To potentially sell to this low. Right, let's see where the daily take profit target is. Or here. So to this structure point or this structure point. Let's see how the 4 hour looks again. Okay. Alright, so we'll just move this one, because this is a much more safer structure point to take profit from. Right, so that's what I'm looking for on the 4 hour time frame. So we'll be entering on the 1 hour time frame. We'll hopefully wait for a little bit of retreat. The market is actually ready right now, but we can't really sell on Sunday night, right? So we still need price to potentially create a new lower high to around this level or something for us to sell to around this level, right? So I like this pair very well, GBP AUD. So let's put it as the first pair for this week. Euro GBP, the next pair. The daily time frame, okay, is just basically at the highest high, and who says it's not going to react from this level right here, because it has done that multiple times, here, 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 and here, right? Even if the market is bullish, there's still potential that it can react because it has done that before, right? So that is number one red flag that I might not take this trade this week, right? So weekly time frame has a very strong weekly engulfing this last week, and then let's see how the 4 hour looks. The 4 hour is also bullish, right? I will not be interested in taking this market because it's a very confusing one. I'm trying to find one of the best markets to take this week, and it seems like it might be this one, but let's just check other pairs to know which one is great for us to take this week. NZD USD, very ridiculous pair, right? So this pair was having strong momentum previously, right? So it was having strong momentum. As you can see, the selling momentum were very, very strong. You can see very clear strong movement until someone decided to enter here and then got stopped out, especially with CPI, right? So I still believe this market is still going to continue selling, but right now it doesn't seem like it's ready for that selling, for it to sell, right? So here's what I'm looking at, but I'm not adding it for this week because I'm not trying to deal with the emotions that come with NZD USD again, right? For now. So, but I believe that it will continue selling after closing below this low right here, right? So if it close below this low, it will clearly shift bearish and then it retest to continue selling. But I'm not adding it for the pairs for this week. Next pair, AUD USD. AUD USD too have been consolidating. I remember catching a trade right here and it actually played out, right? So let's see what the daily time frame is saying. Consolidation, right? So I'm not interested in this consolidation market, right? So I can't make any major decision with having all this right here. So next pair, Euro AUD. All right, so Euro AUD. Daily time frame is, I'll still call it bullish. Let's see. All right, so daily time frame is still bullish, yes, right. Weekly time frame is bearish, in my opinion, right. I'll not be counting this one right here because this is just not a regular movement of this pair, right. It's just one of those big push that's happened before. So I mean, you can still call it bullish, but I would like to just call this one bearish because this is not a regular move that always happen with this pair, right. It was one of those off moments kind of movements that happen. So let's see how the 4 hour is looking. The 4 hour have shifted structure to the downside, right. It has shifted structure to the downside, which simply means that this market is now currently bearish. It's currently below strong support and resistance level, as you can see right here. Currently below that level. And from the EME, you can clearly see that it's shifting bearish too as well. So I believe that this trade is even ready, by the way. I believe that this trade is ready for selling this week, right. So where to enter is right here, actually, right now where price is, but we can't still enter on Sunday night. So that's where the problem is, right. But I believe that this market should sell this week. I'll keep you guys updated on the Telegram channel on this particular one, Euro AUD. So let's add it for this week. CAD JPY next pair. So CAD JPY, as you can see, we predicted the buys on this market. I don't think market actually gave us this opportunity to buy. Let's see. Let's look at it on the 1 hour time frame. This was the entry here, actually, and this is where your stop loss will be. Anyway, let's just analyze the pair and see how it looks. So daily time frame is, wow, at the higher high. So this market is gone too as well, right. We can't do anything with this pair. Next pair, GBP NZD. GBP NZD is currently bearish, actually. Weekly time frame, this last week was very bearish on this particular pair, right. And 4 hour time frame is also bearish. Four hour time frame is also bearish. The minor area of interest you can possibly see here might be this one right here. So I believe that this market might actually sell, but the area of interest is not a very strong one. We can barely even see anything here on the daily time frame. So I'll decide to see this one out, actually, right. Next pair we have is Euro NZD. Euro NZD, from the market structure alone, I can already tell that this market should be buying, right. So from the EME, you can clearly see that price has been respecting it. It has been going up steadily, right. Market structure on its own has been creating higher highs and higher lows, right. And now these are the higher high. We have created a new higher low to continue buying potentially. So since we don't really have a strong area of interest, but this particular kind of trade that has a very clean market structure, you can almost predict that this market should just continue buying, right. So should we risk it? Let's see how the weekly looks first. You can see week after week, market has clearly been buying, right. Week after week, market has clearly been buying. So let's see how the 4 hour looks. If you can just get any form of entry, I'll decide to enter this market this week. So the 4 hour time frame is actually right now currently bearish, right. The 4 hour time frame is currently bearish. My decision on NZD, on Euro NZD, is buys. Now let me just make this clear. It doesn't really follow the strategy in some ways, right. So but I actually believe that this market can actually buy, right. and this might be where to just break and retest to buy. First of all, we don't have a area of interest. This market is just a risky one and it's not really following the strategy back to back, right? But based on market structure, you can almost sense this buy will continue, right? So let's try our best to look for a cleaner, a strong area of interest which you can barely see on a daily time frame because that's just been bullish, right? So we can just use here the 4-hour time frame to kind of look for an area of interest right here. So price have stalled around here before, that have reacted from here before, reacted from here to the upside before and to the downside. So it's very possible that price might actually break and react from this same level again to buy. Stop loss is going to be below these levels right here. So should I add it for this week? Let's add it for this week. Euro USD next pair. The daily time frame. Let's see how the weekly looks first. Alright, the weekly has just not made any decision, right? Price action is just all over the place. So let's see how the daily looks. So we need daily and forward to at least be in the same direction for us to buy or sell this market. So this time frame is actually bearish right now. So the daily time frame is bearish on the daily time frame is bearish and the 4-hour time frame is currently bullish, right? So we don't have two time frame in sync and I'm not interested in taking this market. USD JPY higher high, or technically not the higher high, but is at one of the highest points, right? So not interested in this market. Not interested. NZD JPY, I'm sure it's going to be the same thing. Wow. See, one of those one-off moments that I talked about. So last week, I didn't add this pair for last week too, right? But you can see that it actually played out. So I think we took a pair in replace of this particular pair. Which pair was that? Trying to remember. I'll put the screenshot if I remember the pair, but it's a JPY pair, I'm sure. Right, so he had a very long week, the same thing, and then he went to the upside. So we just use the minor level right here. I called it a demand zone in one of my videos too. So maybe if I find a video, I'll add it together with this clip, right? So that is that for NZD JPY. USD card next pair. USD card is clearly bullish, but the market structure is indecisive to me. It's bullish, we know that it's bullish, but it's still indecisive to me. But this market could actually sell. You see, the daily time frame was looking like buys because the market is bullish, right? Clearly it has been going to the upside, right? And this right here looked like a retracement, two dojis for a potential buy, right? But if you look at the 4-hour time frame, see that the 4-hour time frame is now looking bearish, right? Seems to be having some form of left head, right shoulder, even if it's not clean. But you can clearly see from the EME, market is already shifting to the downside, right? So this kind of market, why will I want to be betting on this kind of market, right? This market could actually sell from down here, or it could actually buy. So which one is it, right? So maybe if price gets to around this level, you can look to sell. But I'm personally not adding it for this week. It's not a bad trade actually. It's not a bad one. But I'm personally deciding not to add this one for this week. This one, I can clearly see that we are not going to be interested in taking this market. But this is a crazy precise trade to buy from. That's mad. GBP, JPY pairs. I'm sure that we might not end up buying some of them, right? So this one too has already played out. See the path I drew last time, as you can see. So it has already played out. AUD CHF. Now AUDCHF is bearish, right? We have area of interest is this one right here. This is going to be the area of interest, right, for us to potentially sell. So let me see how the weekly looks. Weekly is also bearish, right? And then 4 hour. Now 4 hour is actually technically bullish right now because this is the higher high, right? Because it broke above this high right here. So this is the higher high and this is the higher low. So I also like this trade because we'll simply just be waiting for a break and retest below this minor area right here, right? So we just need price to close below this low to shift bearish on the 4 hour time frame, and then we'll look for in the same thing, break and retest on the entry time frame, which is the 1 hour, to continue selling. So I actually like this one right here. So GBP CHF, I'm adding it for this week. So let me add GBP CHF for this week. And GBP card last pair, price did not give us any opportunity. I'm pretty sure it's a loss avoided. Also waiting for price to potentially come into this area to buy. So here it never really got to the area, right? Here is when it got to the area. So at this area now, we are probably going to be waiting. We are supposed to be waiting for a shift of structure, or at least an engulfing from here should tell us to buy. But price never did any of that, and price is now below area of interest. So loss avoided, right? So let's see. Let me just see how this pair is looking. All right, this pair was supposed to be buying, by the way, right? It was supposed to be buying, but it never did, and it created a new low. And I can't buy from this kind of market, right? Because the overall momentum is looking bullish, and we just created a new low, which simply says it's bearish right now. So I'm not interested in this particular pair. So let us look at the pairs I'm interested for in this week. So we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs, and if I'm adding gold in this pair, this is what I'm looking for, right? Let me show you guys. So on gold, we have found a resistance now, right? So we have found a resistance, so we'll simply be waiting for a break above for price to hold this market as support for us to continue buying, right? Because the overall momentum or the overall direction for gold is actually buys. If you check week after week, you can clearly see it's a very strong buying market, right? Very strong buying market. So we have basically never seen any red week for the past, let me measure how long. On gold, we have never seen any red week for the past 63 days apart from this week. So this week was the only red week on gold, and I actually mentioned this on my Telegram, by the way. So here's what I said. This right here, gold falls 6.3%. This is the biggest one-day drop since April 2013, right? So gold have never really dropped 6.3% in one day since April 2013. So I mean, I mentioned that on my Telegram, by the way. So by the way, the concept of 10 trades, you guys should go watch that video. It's up. It was up yesterday, right? So I uploaded it on Saturday. So that's pretty much the pairs for this week. I'll make a shorter version of this video to just try and break down the pairs again, right? So that's pretty much it, guys. Remember to turn on your notifications so that anytime I drop a new video, YouTube will send you a notification letting you know that Zico Forex just dropped another new video, and it will set you up for success immediately. So that's pretty much it, guys.